You guys know what I'm craving right now? I'm craving a cigarette. And I never thought those words would come out of my mouth because I don't smoke. But I feel like driving to the gas station and buying a pack of Marlboro Reds and sitting here and smoking the whole thing. And while I'm at it, while I'm at the gas station, I might as well kill two birds with one stone and buy a handle of Tito's and sit here and drink the whole thing as well. Drinking and smoking, man, resorting to addiction. That's the only way I can think of to just feel better, man, to relieve this pain because I'm so pissed right now, man. We had that in the palm of our hands. We had that tie in the palm of our hands. And we let it slip away. Unacceptable, bro. Unacceptable. And I hate playing Atletico Madrid. That's twice now at Montjuic. Barca have outplayed them through 90 minutes in my opinion. And both times, you can't get the win. And both times, it's the same fucking guy who scores the goal to break our hearts. Both times, it's Sorloth. Nobody can contain this fucking Norwegian freak, man. He's the biggest guy on the pitch. And every time he's wide open to score a winner at Montjuic in December and then today as well. What is happening, bro? And like I said, we have that tie in the palm of our hands. And don't get me wrong, I believe with every fiber in my being that Barca will win the second leg. Barca are going to go through to the Copa del Rey final. You can clip this. They're going to go through. I don't care what anybody says. Barca will win the second leg at the Metropolitano. I believe that with every fiber in my being. Okay? But you made it so much more difficult than it had to be. You made it so much more difficult. This team was shot in the heart. They were dead, bro. They were dead. And you let them back into the game and back into the tie. And that to me is unacceptable, man. And I'm so pissed off. And that game was the definition of a roller coaster of emotions. I mean, it sucked and it was amazing and then it sucked. For Atletico fans, it was the opposite. It was amazing, then it sucked, and then it was amazing. But obviously, I'm speaking from a Barca fan perspective. And yeah, bro, I don't even know what to say. By the way, guys, check out my shirt. It's Xavi and Iniesta as like the Step Brothers, you know, the movie. I thought that was pretty funny. I wanted to show you guys. But anyway, yeah, man, this game, first of all, Barca have nobody to blame but themselves because they put themselves behind the 8 ball early in this game. In the first 20 seconds, Szczesny was forced to make a save, which led to a corner kick, which led to the first goal from Julian Alvarez. And when that goal went in, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't scared. You know, I wasn't like, okay, this game is over because I believe in this Barca team, but I was pissed. I guess the better way to put it is I wasn't panicked, but I was pissed because I've seen this Barca team concede first and still come back and win the game and dominate a game. Most recently, I think we saw it against Real Madrid, a really, really good team, of course, in the Super Cup final. Mbappe scored the first goal, and then Barca scored 5 goals in that game. After Mbappe scored that goal, they scored 5 unanswered goals. And then today, like I said, we conceded first, but I was like, okay, you know what? I know this Barca team, it's different under Hansi Flick, and they don't really let themselves get too down, even when they concede first. So, again, I was pissed, but I wasn't panicked. And then when that second goal came around from Griezmann, obviously it was a sloppy pass from Koundé into the middle of the pitch. It gets intercepted, and then they go on the counter-attack. Julian Alvarez with a great pass to find Griezmann, and then Griezmann in front of goal one-on-one tucks it away beautifully. When that goal came in, I didn't think the tie was 100% over, but honestly, I'm being 100% honest here, I thought it was 95% over because Atletico Madrid is a great team. And to see us score, 2 or 3 goals to come back, I thought it was going to be really, really difficult even at home. Especially with the way Cholo Simeone plays once he's ahead, away from home. Oh my God, I thought it was going to be near impossible. But credit to Barca because I've said it through every step this year. I'm going to say it one more time because this result doesn't change my opinion on this Barca team. This Barca team is different. And they showed it. They showed it with this comeback they had today. They scored four unanswered goals. And granted, they allowed 2 goals at the end. And to allow Atletico Madrid to go back to get back into this tie. I understand that, okay? But Barca teams from the past, I don't even think they draw this game, let alone score 4 goals on the bounce. In my opinion, at least. But again, it happened. You know what I mean? Like, it just happened after Griezmann scored that goal. Barca were cooking. Ferran Torres missed an easy one-on-one. But again, Barca were not getting complacent. They were not putting their heads down. They were actually going out and finding that goal. And I could feel it was coming at some point, okay? I could feel that the goal was about to come. And, that first goal, we needed it. It was just at the right time, man. It was just what the doctor ordered. Lamine Yamal finds Koundé running in behind. Koundé sends the ball to the middle of the box. Pedri's crashing the box. And Pedri, man, God bless his soul. What a goal he scored. A fantastic goal and a great teamwork goal from Barca. When that goal went in, I was like, okay, we have life. And then like 2 minutes after that, from a corner kick, Pau Cubarsí scores his first goal for Barcelona from a header, from a great pass from Rafinha. And Montjuic was rocking, man. You could hear it on the TV. That's the loudest I've heard Montjuic all year. The fans were hyped. The players were hyping up the crowd. It was electric, man. I could feel it through the TV. I can't imagine how it was in the actual stadium, but I could feel it through the TV, how hype and how electric it was. And then, like, after that, right before halftime, Inigo Martinez scores the third goal. Again, a great ball from Rafinha from the corner, which, by the way, Barca this year from set pieces have not been great, but 2 goals from corners, and both goals were headers from our center back, and both goals were passes from Rafinha. And for that goal from Inigo, nobody was marking him. He was wide open at the back post. Again, a great ball from Rafinha. But at that point, it was 3-2 going into halftime, man. Who would have seen that coming? You're down 2-0, 10, 15 minutes into the game, and then you're up 3-2 all of a sudden? Like, it was amazing to watch, man. I was so proud of this team, and I'm still proud of this team, don't get me wrong, but... And then in the second half, you're playing so well, you get the 4th goal, Lewandowski comes off the bench, Lamine Yamal with a great play, gets to the byline, gets to the touchline, sends in the cross, and Lewandowski's right there to tuck it away into an empty net, comes in for Ferran and scores a goal. And at that point, it was 4-2. But then what happened, man? How do you allow those 2 goals? I think we just got complacent. I think Hansi Flick got complacent with his subs. And I'm not really one to criticize Hansi Flick and his subs because for the most part, he's been amazing at making substitutions this year. His selections off the bench have been amazing, man. Who to bring in, who to take out. He's been so good at it. But man, I didn't think those subs were it. I just didn't think those subs were it. I think Barca just got complacent. And to concede 2 goals like that is unacceptable. To let them get back into this tie is unacceptable. It's just unacceptable, man. I'm so mad right now, bro. I honestly, you guys don't understand how fucking mad I am. And Koundé slips. You know, Koundé had such a weird game. He had the assist, obviously, for the first goal. And I think overall, he actually had a decent game. But then he has the shitty pass, at least to the second goal. And he slips, which again, it's not really his fault. It's the pitch. But he slips. And then, you know, it's just, Sorloth is wide open, man. I mean, it was an easy goal for them. It was an easy goal. And Barca today, in my opinion, weren't great defensively. But our counter press was so good. Our intensity was so good. Every time we lost the ball, especially in that first half, Rafinha, Frenkie de Jong, Pedri, they were swarming to the ball, winning it back, high up the pitch, and making things happen. And I was so happy to see that because, again, I don't think Barca teams from the past come back and draw this game. I don't think that. I still believe this Barca team is different, but man, you gotta stick with that intensity for just the 90 minutes. Just see it out. But we couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. And every part of me is hurting right now. Every single part of me is hurting. Let's talk about the players. I thought Szczesny made a couple huge saves in this game. I'm not going to lie. I think Szczesny made a couple huge saves. He conceded 4 goals. But again, his unbeaten streak is still alive. But, you know, he could have done better on some of them. I think in the second goal, he could have done better. And maybe in the last goal. I mean, in the last goal, he actually gets his fingertips on it too. He just couldn't keep it out. But I think Szczesny overall actually had a decent game. He made a couple huge saves. And he seems a lot more comfortable in this team. I think the back line played well, man. I thought Koundé, like I said, I already talked about Koundé, made 2 mistakes, but also had the assist. But, you know, those 2 mistakes really cost us, so I can't say Koundé had a great game. But, you know, he did some good things. Inigo and Kubarsi both got a goal, and I thought both were really good defensively. I thought Griezmann and Julian weren't really that threatening in this game. I thought Balde was fantastic today, man. Balde's been so good. I thought the midfield of Frenkie de Jong and Pedri, I mean, Pedri is he's insane, man. What he was doing today. It's just moment of magic after moment of brilliance after moment of brilliance and moment of brilliance after moment of brilliance. He's just amazing. Frenkie de Jong, I actually thought Frenkie had a great game. Winning the ball back, his off-the-ball work was amazing in my opinion. Was doing really well. Rafinha had 2 assists and was trying to make things happen. Always making runs. He made a couple runs in behind where he was wide open, and if Frenkie would have just found him, he would have been through on goal. Rafinha was making good runs today. I like what I saw from him. Again, his output in terms of goals hasn't been there for the past couple weeks and the past couple games, but he's still impacting the game in so many ways. And like I said, today had 2 assists. I thought Lamine had a great... I didn't think he had a great game again, but he had some great moments. And we're just seeing it. This kid is just a beast when it comes to playmaking. And then we come to Ferran Torres. How do I talk about this Ferran performance? Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to give you guys a story. And it's kind of going to put it into perspective. The first time I ever did an edible, I was in high school. I was a sophomore in high school. And after I took the edible, I ate like a fucking... like a birthday cake bar or something like that. I don't know how many milligrams it was, but it was a lot. And it was my first time ever taking edible, and I wasn't really like I didn't smoke that much weed back then. I promise you the story's going somewhere. But anyway, I take the edible, and as you guys know, if you've done edibles before, they don't hit you right away. Okay, it kind of takes a while to hit you. So my friends and I were like, let's go to Benihana. If you're not familiar with Benihana, it's a restaurant where the chef is in front of you and he's making like hibachi and shit. He makes like rice and shrimp, and you know he puts it in his hat. And I was sitting there at the Benihana, and as you guys know, if you've been to Benihana, the fucking chef takes like 30 minutes to come out most of the time. They take a fat minute. I don't know what they're doing in the back over there, but they take a while to come out and actually start cooking the food. And by the time the guy came out, my edible had hit, and I was in another planet. And I was seeing this guy fucking make the volcano with the onions, and he's putting the shrimp in his head, and he's cracking the egg. And I was like, this is the coolest guy ever. He's he's like the greatest man I've ever met. I'll turn gay for this guy. That's how much in awe I was of this dude making the hibachi in front of me. Like my friends and I were just like, who the fuck is this magician, right? And that was one of the best experiences of my life. Being on an edible, like watching some guy at Benihana cook my food was amazing. But then a couple weeks later, I went back to Benihana and I wasn't high. And when I saw that guy, I was like, this is not as cool as I thought. And my point with that story is to say this. Ferran Torres, a lot of times when you watch him, he's like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then once that hype kind of wears down, you realize, oh my God, this guy is so fucking wasteful and annoying to watch play sometimes. I hope that story put it into perspective. Maybe it didn't. But my point is, you can't really get too high off one experience, okay? Because it's not always going to last. It's not going to be steady. You know, I thought that guy was amazing when I was on that edible. I was like, this guy's the greatest man ever. And then when I wasn't on the edible, it was like, oh, this guy is just, he's just a guy making food. And when you see Ferran Torres score a hat trick, you're like, oh my God, this is the greatest player ever. And then you see him today miss sitters, and you're like, you know what? I get it now. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to shit on Ferran and say that he's terrible now, but again, games like this, that shit comes back to bite you in the ass. You cannot miss chances like that. And I thought Ferran just missed too many chances. Lewa comes in and scores a goal, which was great. But I thought Flick's subs were too complacent. I thought he got comfortable. And I think he thought the game was won. And with a team like Atletico Madrid, you can't ever think that way because those players don't quit for Cholo Simeone, and we saw that today. But again, every part of me believes that Barca's going to win that second leg. I really do believe that. I believe that with every fiber in my being. And, it's in a month from now, so Barca have plenty of time to prepare. There's going to be a lot of games in the middle there. They have some tough fixtures, obviously, against Real Madrid in the UCL. So we're both going to go into that game after a lot of important games. But I believe Barca will win. And yeah, man, overall, I have really nothing else to say. I thought the team played well. I mean, to score 4 goals unanswered against Atletico Madrid, and that resilience that the team showed to actually come back, I thought it was nothing short of remarkable. But again, you got to close that game out. You got to find a way to win that game. And you got to find a way to have that advantage going into the second leg away from home in a really tough environment. And Barca couldn't do that. So because of that, I'm disappointed. But overall, I'm really, really proud of the team, honestly. I feel proud of the team. I'm pissed. Don't get me wrong. I'm pissed. But I'm proud of the team for what they did and the fact that they came back. Now, I'm pissed that they actually allowed those 2 goals. But, I do believe that this Barca team shows that they are different. And, defensively, we're still not great. But going forward, this team is electric. And I think it's going to be, the trouble dream is still on. The trouble dream is still on, and I believe that it could get done. But yeah, man, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I love every single one of you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.